Okay, here it is. Full video. First step you want to do is remove the rear tire. I like to do it my own way. People like to loosen the bolts and whatnot with the bike on the ground. I just do it on a center stand. Put a piece of wood on your tire. Easiest and best way to go as far as I'm concerned. Do everything to avoid this. You know, use a secondary screwdriver to put tension on there. I wound up with a little reading line trying to get these things out. Terrible.
Okay, I see why there's this two-piece hugger. On my own. That bolt right there.
Oh, man.
You can see where the little patch right now.
Yeah. Unscrew it and pop it up. Should pop right out. Like that. But if you're not careful, you get the little end pieces stuck in there and you'll be crying. Okay. Then you take the 4 screws off. On the middle brackets. And hold down the brake lines. Because previous owner said dealer do work on it. That's probably what it is. Okay, now you got all this loose. What you're going to want to do is take off the right side peg. Okay, then you want to take off the outside bolts to your chain guard. Alrighty. With the supplied plugs, with the dum-dum, you take those and stick them in the holes on the inside where the plastic screws were. Keep garbage, junk, little pieces of rocks out of there. That way no one can say, well, I bought this hugger from Thrift Psycho and now I got a bunch of stones jingling and jangling around in my shit. Thanks a lot, Thrift Psycho. Too much.
Okay.
Okay. So what you want to do, take the hugger. Here, look, please. Stick the chain guard through on the underside, very carefully. Watch the paint. So you have clearance behind the exhaust and the peg. You want to pull it as far back as you can. Loop it through. Here, let me do this, please. Cool. Set it on. Now you don't want to clip it on immediately onto the swing arm until you're sure that you have clearance of the chain guard of where the bolts go on the outside. You have clearance from the bosses. This is the fun part. is you hold down on it to make sure that you're not on the bosses. Tap it onto the swing arm. Once you're clear, once you're on the bosses, then you can take a rubber mallet and tap it to make sure that it's seated fully on the swing arm. Okay, at that point you don't want to start bolting everything down because it's going to take a little bit of shimming to get things correct. And the holes for the bolts are slightly oversized to allow for the shimming. Yeah, these are the short ones. Okay. So what you want to do now is take your bolts, line them up at the holes, and put them in, but don't seat them. And then, your brake lines, we'll put the cover on. Just lightly get the bolts started. The brake hold downs. So you got all the bolts started. Next thing you want to do is put the tire back on. At which point you tighten up the rest of the bolts and move the hug around, shim it as it needs to be. Start with the bolts on the outside, obviously, to make sure it's positioned correctly. Does that look good to you, sir? Okay, then from there, what you want to do is tighten down on your brake line bolts, but you want to go only so tight. It's advisable to put blue Loctite on there. I haven't used any blue Loctite on mine. It's been absolutely fine. If the cover starts to bend, you're about at the point that you want to stop wrenching on it. You just want to get it just a little bit past hand tight, maybe a quarter, an eighth of a turn past hand tight. Let the rubber grommets on the brakes crush a little bit, and leave it right there. If you go too tight, the PEM nuts that are inset in it, even though they are crushed PEM nuts and they are epoxied, you will break them free if you're not careful. If you try to over tighten it, there's no need to reef on it, and if you reef on it too tight anyhow, what's going to happen is when you hit the brakes, it's going to flex the whole thing. You don't want to pinch off